When I think back on those 5 years, it's hard to describe just how confusing it all was. My parents and I, we were just tossed around from one doctor to another. And it wasn't just, the frustration of not knowing, although that was definitely part of it. It was also the emotional toll, the fear. I mean, you always hope the next doctor will have the answer, but then they don't, and you're back to square one.
That sounds exhausting. And honestly, Robert, I can't imagine how you or your parents stayed tethered through all of that. When I was trying to figure out what was going on with Ashley's allergies, it felt like we were on a never-ending scavenger hunt. But 5 years, wow, that's like,
Exactly. And let me tell you, it wears on you. Even as a kid, I could see the stress in my mom and dad's faces. It was like every appointment ended with more questions than answers. And let's not forget the useless piles of eyeglasses.
wait, like, how many pairs are we talking about here?
Honestly, I lost count, but it wasn't just the glasses that were wrong. It was the whole diagnosis. None of the prescriptions worked, and they all told me just give it time. Meanwhile, I kept wondering, what's wrong with me?
That must have been so isolating. And I think what people don't realize is the ripple effect, right? Like, it's not just a diagnosis. It's how everything around you starts to feel unstable, even your sense of yourself.
Exactly. But then my grandma, God bless her, she stepped in. She suggested we try the Massachusetts Eye and Ear Association. And that's when we met Dr. David Tracy. Finally, we had someone who listened, who looked deeper. Kaylee, it was like this weight lifted, like maybe we weren't crazy for once.
I can't even, that moment must have just felt, like finally having light where there was none. And Dr. Tracy, he was the one who told you it was ocular albinism.
Yep, he didn't just tell me, he explained it. He walked us through what it meant without sugarcoating, but also without making us feel hopeless. It was like, for the first time, someone saw all of us, the worry, the exhaustion, and gave us more than just answers. He gave us understanding.
That reminds me so much of the time I found the right allergist for Ashley. It's not just about treatment. It's about feeling seen as a person, like someone actually cares. It's incredible how much that changes the whole experience.
It really does. From that point on, things didn't magically get easy, but at least there was a path forward. A diagnosis, as frightening as it was, brought us clarity. And if nothing else, it gave us hope we didn't even realize we had lost. You'd think that finally having a diagnosis would make everything easier, right? I mean, we finally had clarity, a path forward. But when I got to school, it didn't feel that way at all. Instead, it was like I had to prove myself over and over again, like walking into every classroom with a neon sign saying, different. Gekastinte offers.
Wow, that's heavy and heartbreaking. What do you even say in those moments?
Honestly, most of the time, I didn't say anything. I just kept my head down. But the teasing, the whispers, sometimes it wasn't even that. Sometimes it was just the way people stared, Like I wasn't even a person they could relate to.
Gosh, that just makes me, like furious. Kids can be so cruel, whether they mean to or not.
They can, yeah, but it wasn't just kids, Kaylee. Teachers didn't always know how to handle me either. I was the blind kid, like I was some special project or something, and it made me feel so isolated. At one point, I remember thinking, maybe I just don't belong here at all. Maybe this world isn't for me.
Oh, Robert, that breaks my heart to hear. No one should feel that way, especially not a kid.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have made it through if it weren't for Susan Christensen. She was my caseworker from the Massachusetts Commission for the Blind. She came into my life at just the right time. I cannot overstate how much of a difference she made.
What did she do? Like, how did she help turn things around for you?
Well, first off, she didn't just throw resources at me and disappear. She actually sat down with me, took time to understand what I was struggling with, and made a plan. She worked with the school to ensure they had the right tools in place to support me, like giving me large print materials, or sometimes a reader. But more than that, she made me feel like I mattered, like I wasn't invisible.
That's incredible. It's amazing what happens when people see beyond their own biases and actually invest in understanding someone else's experience.
Absolutely. I think that's what's missing sometimes, just the effort to understand. Schools and communities, they have so much potential to make a real difference for kids like me, but it takes more than just policy or accommodations. It takes empathy.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Empathy. It's such a small thing, but it's so powerful. Honestly, I think if more people, even just a few more, had that mindset, so many kids wouldn't have to go through what you did.
Exactly. And, looking back, I realize now just how much Susan's kindness shaped my trajectory. She didn't fix everything, but she gave me tools to start building a life where I felt less alone.
You know, Robert, hearing about the way Susan impacted your life really shows how powerful empathy can be. It reminds me of some feedback we've gotten from listeners, like Sarah, who said in her review, Robert's passion comes through and I can't wait for the next episodes. This is a must listen. It's the personal stories that resonate so deeply, don't you think?
It's humbling, really. When I hear words like that, it reminds me why I started Navigate Life Beyond Sight in the first place. Stories like Sarah's or even my own, they connect us in ways we don't always expect. It kind of reinforces that we're not walking this path alone.
Exactly. It's that shared experience. You're not just creating a podcast, you're building a community, a real and meaningful one. And people are finding hope and support here. That's powerful, Robert.
It's become something much bigger than I had imagined, that's for sure. I've seen it firsthand, how resilience and compassion can transform lives, and not just for those of us who are visually impaired, but for anyone navigating their own challenges.
Right. It's like this ripple effect. You support one person, give them tools or even just a little understanding, and suddenly they're equipped to go out and build stronger connections. And that builds more resilience. It just keeps growing from there.
Exactly. That's what Navigate Life Beyond Sight is really about, creating those ripples. For me, it's a way to share what I've learned, the resources I've found, and even the mistakes I've made. But more importantly, it's about saying, hey, you're not alone. We can face this together.
And stories like Sarah's, like yours, they're what make people feel seen, like they belong. It's such a big deal, Robert. Seriously.
Thanks, Kaylie. I truly believe that each person in this community brings their own unique light, and together we're lighting up the darkness, one story, one connection at a time.
Well, I think you're doing an incredible job of that. And on that note, I just want to say to everyone listening, thank you. Thank you for trusting us, for sharing your time, and for being part of this journey with us.
Yes, thank you. Every single one of you inspires me to keep going. And as we close this chapter, just remember, you're not alone. Together, we're stronger. And that's all for today. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.